activism when climate activism is literally the reason why there's fucking floods here? Make it make sense.
Just to add to what Adrian mentioned earlier about Tesla, so the mainstream tech media is also broken. So I actually read a news headline that said Flipper Zero hacked the Tesla. So my expectation was, oh wow, something super interesting. But then it was literally just able to open the charging port. That's not hacking, right?
Yeah.
But so many users were they were misled by all these mainstream tech media, and it's a problem. I would rather follow someone who actually does research on this stuff.
Me too. I just quote tweeted Just Stop Oil. I can't believe they're like saying that this flooding is caused by climate change. Man, fuck them. 51 dead in Spain so far due to flooding. Our future is fire, flooding, and famine unless we just stop.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's their fault. But they won't take responsibility. They're like, oh, we gotta stop climate change. Climate change is why it's flooding. No, you stupid fucks. It's not. It's literally not.
Yeah, there's no way.
So the Just Stop Oil idiots should probably stop using anything that also is somehow contributing to oil being used. Like, for instance, those containers in which you have your color that you're going to use to deface other people's property, not your own, because you're never going to do anything constructive. Like, that needs to be made out of something else other than polymer, right? Because that's from oil. Your shirts are probably mixed with various types of materials that allow them to stretch, because that's what we're putting into our clothes right now, probably polyester and various other things as well. You're going to have to stop wearing that because that's made out of oil. The stuff that you put into your hair, there's something involved in this as well, like a lot of the machinery that is used to manufacture this, as well as the container that it came in, that I can guarantee you also used oil to do so. So a lot of things would have to change about these people. These people would have to go there in like clothes made from natural fibers, or they'd have to go naked. So should start with you.
Adrian, they should wear hair shirts, okay? Because that's what they look like. That's
I mean, you can wear wool. That's a hair shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, but what about the machines used to? Yeah, what about the machines that we use to weave the wool together, though? That uses oil.
Oh yeah.
Everything about it. Cleaning it requires oil. Like just does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever be able to fully move away from oil. It's a useful substance.
Yeah,
and it comes in many
moving
forms,
away from aluminum.
Different grades, and I think that we just need it, like, for machinery, and unless there's some sort of alternate lubricant that would actually work like oil does, but I don't think that exists.
We could always switch back to animal fats. I mean, would they prefer that? Because
let's use beef tallow. I think Adrian's down.
Like we used to, for instance, with watches, right? Like, so watches need to be lubricated, right? Now we use synthetic oils. They're very good. They last forever. They don't degrade, right? At least they don't degrade over a period of years. They degrade over a period of centuries, which is awesome. We could go back to using whale oil for those, like, well, let's take ambergris, and use that to fucking lubricate our watches again. I don't know if ambergris was actually used for that, but, you get the idea. Like, there are very specific oils that we use in lubricating small pieces of machinery or even large pieces of machinery that you have to get from specific animals because of the cellulose content or whatever that comes with it, right? Can't really do that if we don't kill animals. Now, fortunately, now we can not kill animals and we can just synthesize the whole thing. But they're telling us we can't synthesize it because you're going to just stop oil. Okay, let's go back to killing whales then. See how that works.
Yeah.
Using kerosene or gasoline, let's go back to whale oil, to heat our lamps like we used to in like the 1800s. That'll be nice.
Yeah. So oil itself, we need it for everything. It's like it's not like specifically the burning of hydrocarbons part is a use case, of course, that's quite major, but at the same time, like we're using it for everything else also.
Yeah.
You can't.
I mean, what are we going to switch back to?
Can't stop oil.
Yeah. Like, burning oil. Oil is good because it's efficient. What's the alternative? I mean, they're saying don't use coal either, right? So what? We burn peat. Peat is worse. It produces way more methane when we burn it, right? And it's not particularly efficient. That's why we don't use it anymore. Because you could burn peat. Technically, you just dry it out and then you burn it, right? Because it's all bio waste, right? Biofuels. But it's not particularly efficient. But that's what they want us to move back to. And what would the world look like if all we did was harvest peat? Probably not very clean, for one. It's carcinogenic. Not great. And like, I don't mean carcinogenic in the sense that oil is also kind of carcinogenic, but it's just the energy content, the calorie content. The calorie content is so low compared to coal or fuel, like proper fuel.
Okay, never mind.
Yes, imbeciles. These people don't understand efficiency. They talk about just stopping oil, but the reason we use oil in the first place is because it's so efficient. If there were better alternatives, we'd use them, but they're not efficient, and they're worse. They produce more pollution, more waste. Like, try burning peat inside of a living room. See how that works out for you, as opposed to coal. Elon just liked the Englishman practices his cultural enrichment techniques video.
Yeah. Actually, I mean that's the guy who shows you your directions now. Hey, excuse me, can you show me your directions? Stop. It's like the London meme. It's been like this for years now, of course, but yeah, it's recently really, really upscaled massively.
Cultural enrichment techniques, love it.
Yeah, oil's still used in a lot of things, and it will be for a very long period of time.
We never will stop using it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you try to stop using it, it will become exceedingly expensive to use it. And you don't really want that either, because that's going to drive up prices for things where prices should go down. Because you look at all these components, they're like, oh wow, I need this, I need that, and that. Oh, I need my fucking 3D printing. I'm like, what is it 3D printing with? I was using plastic. That's made out of oil. Yeah. I was using metal to do that, and like.
Fertilizer uses the oil, Okay, so I just asked Rock just for fun, here's a list of things that use oil. Fuel for cars, diesel for trucks, jet fuel for airplanes, heating oil for homes, lubricants for machinery, grease for bearings, hydraulic fluids, transmission fluid, engine oil, petrochemical feedstock, plastic production, rubber, fertilizers, pesticides, detergents, solvents, adhesives, paint, ink, asphalt for roads, roofing tar, paraffin for candles, cosmetics, perfumes, shampoos, soaps, pharmaceuticals, antifreeze, coolants, plastic bags, food packaging, PVC pipes, synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, lubricating oil for bicycles, chain oil, gear oil, cutting oil for metal working, transformer oil, electrical insulation. Yeah, you need that because fucking thing uses PVC, right? And rubber. Refrigeration oil, textile dyes, photographic film, vinyl, flooring, toys, medical equipment, golf ball, balloons, and it just you could literally make a list of 5,000 things. Honestly, a million things. Everything uses oil. Like literally everything we use. Uses oil in some form, whether it's the machinery that makes it or the material itself somehow involves it or the cleaning process. Adhesives, like, okay, so are all our houses just going to fall down because we banned oil? Yeah, they are, because you need oil. You won't have electricity without oil. And I don't just mean burning it. I mean like fucking electrical wiring, First you gotta process the copper, and then you gotta put it in wiring, and that all needs oil. Like, what are you gonna make wires out of? Like the insulation. There's no other material.
And there's no way to just stop oil. Like, it's gonna take a long time. Like, even if they wanted to do
No,
it.
like we gotta go back to the Stone Age. If you just stop oil, you're literally going back to the Stone Age. That's what these people want. So when they do their Extinction Rebellion, they're actually calling for the extinction of humanity.
Oh my god.
Jim Cramer says you should own Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a great thing to have in your portfolio. Fuck you, Kramer. Why? Oh no, it's not even wrong.
Everybody's gonna inverse the Kramer. What if
Everybody go check the BTC. Let's see what the BTC does. It's still holding, but last time I checked it was like at 108. It's still at 102, so that's okay.
Wait, it went back up because it went back down to like fucking 98 for a while, and I guess.
Oh yeah. It went back to like a Kitover.
Yeah.
Like 100 Kitover.
Good.
I think it peaked at around like 108K actually. Last I checked was 108K.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about me. I never sell that shit.
You know, if you read
109K, 109,356.
the Extinction Rebellion, he actually he outlines how the goal is to make humanity extinct. Not even hiding it. Yeah. But the way they market it is different. The way they're marketing it is the opposite. It's the reverse. So they're saying, we're saving humanity. No, you're not. Your goal is to depopulate the planet. That is literally your founding mission, is to depopulate the earth of humanity. These people are scum. They are anti-human terrorists, is what they are, and they belong in jail.
Look, dude, if you sabotage infrastructure, like, that's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah. We need that infrastructure. Yeah, we do. Like, even if you're
we live in a society
like overthrow.
We live in a society.
The end of
It's
it.
a society that's fucked. It's incredible, and people believe that their cars run off of unicorn urine. It's a big problem. Mental health needs to be brought back, but we never had good psychiatry. It never worked because that's why we still have these people. If it would have worked, we never would have had these people. There wouldn't be so many of them. I would even say it made it worse.
It's actually true, I believe so. I think the whole mental health therapy bullshit made everything infinitely worse. Like, there's no way to prove it that it actually worked. You get people, you psyop them into thinking about themselves, and then the realization that they themselves came to is then therapy. There's a word for this. There's a word for this. It's called thinking. Like, you're already doing it, and now you're paying someone else who has a more fucked life than you to tell you how to think.
It's like
We are mentally insane, huh?
Yeah. Think for yourself.
That is mentally ill.
We're reading
Holy shit.
self-help books by paupers.
Mm.
You know, I always wonder about, people who call themselves numerologists or self-help gurus. Why is it that they're not billionaires? If you're a billionaire giving that advice, okay, maybe I'm inclined to listen to you. But if you are giving advice and you're like this morbidly obese fat fuck and you're telling people how to get fit, I'm not going to listen to you.
Dude, 100%. Exactly. It's the same reason why, like, health ministers have this very specific issue. Why is it that you're a health minister, but you're not actually healthy? Like, how can you be the minister of something that you're not? Explain. Conceptually, how that's supposed to work out. I could be a health minister, and I'd still be healthy. Like, huh? It's like a minister of agriculture that has never toiled the field or doesn't know how to grow anything. Same shit. Those do exist. Ministry of Energy that thinks that wind turbines are the future. Especially Germany. That's what we're gonna pull that fucking dog shit. It's German IRL satire. That's what that shit is. It's wind turbines.
Where is the Ministry of Slippery Paranoid Motherfuckers? That's what I want to know.
Dude, 100%, man. Slippery paranoid motherfucker.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm back.
You should see. You should see the UK's treasurer. She's a literal communist.
Wow, that's incredible.
She's got like a photo of Lenin. Yeah, Lenin in her fucking her chamber. That's insane.
Wild.
What did I miss?
And they call the right wingers Russian propagandists. Wild.
Oh yeah, apparently Labour is also allowing the construction of like a super giant like Chinese embassy in London.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Might as well sell it to them.
They sold out.
Yeah. What did I?
We were talking about like just stop oil and how much of a bullshit.
We were written into climate change activists.
Yeah, they're just stopping traffic. That's all really they're stopping.
And also, health ministers not paying
I
health.
was to talk about how therapy doesn't work. Because I was like, dude, hey, you're paying somebody else to think for you. Someone who's more fucked than you are. You're paying them to think for you. It's like, that is mentally ill. Like, if you really believe that that's going to help you, you really are ill. Holy shit.
Well, and not only that, when you're doing it, you're creating a record that makes you less reliable in the future. Like, if you have a record of mental health issues, like, you're going to be a less reliable witness. You're going to be less believable just in general. Like, anybody who knows is going to automatically count that against you if you observe something that is out of the ordinary. They'll think, you're just having mental health issues. So you got to be really careful about when, where, why, and how you seek mental health care.
Also, as you guys know, as I've said before in the past, I have dated people that are psychologists, and they are the most mentally insane people on earth, mentally unwell people on earth. So I do not fucking trust those people to the people that are the most unwell on earth to make you mentally well. It's like a coping. The entirety of psychology, the entirety of like these psychologists and the people that sit around and talk to you is literally just cope. They're like it's because they think, okay, I'm mentally unwell, so I'm gonna go study this thing, and then I'm gonna help other people get mentally well. It's literally a fucking cope.
Yep. God damn. It has come to my attention. There is
a Minister of Science who thinks the earth is flat.
Oh, yeah.
It has come to my attention.
What's come to your attention?
It has come to my attention that a bunch of people are talking about getting shadow banned again. I'm like, the what?
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that is
They have like 1 million views on their post.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
Look at this space
no!
and see if it breaks over 1,000, I'm going in there and I'm bashing everybody. Like, that's happening.
It's funny, the people who talk about being shadow banned the most, they get the most views.
I know, right? It's insane.
And I've been shadow banned 2 million views. Really? Do tell.
Yeah.
How are you being shadow banned exactly when 2 million people saw your post complaining about being shadow banned? How does that work? I don't know what they feel entitled to. It's just an engagement technique. Like, hey guys, can anyone see this post? I'm just testing something. I think I've been shadow banned, guys. Yeah, sure. You just want people to reply to you, so that way your posts always appear on their timeline. That's it. That's literally it.
One word stuff. It's like formative.
And then you have the people who all they do is complain about being shadow banned, and they wonder why nobody likes their posts.
Exactly. Because at some point people look at it and go,
Let me expand on that and bring somebody else in.
we've heard this story. We are tired.
I wasn't afraid of when I
We are
was doing my
tired of it now. I'm gonna let that sit. Nothing's gonna happen there. I'm gonna wait. If that space goes over 1,000 listeners, I'm gonna go in there and raise some hell. Like, fuck that shit.
I don't have to sit there.
Ship content, and it's going to be basically selfie content where these girls realize that, hey, all I have to do is make selfies and a stupid caption, and I'll get.
I mean, like, I know who's doing it as well. I'm looking at their posts. 30 minutes ago, post something. That's 30,000 impressions. I'm like, bro, you're getting 1,000 impressions per minute? Excuse me? Wait a minute. And then your previous post from like 2-3 hours ago have like 1,000 likes on it. Your impressions like 40,000. I'm like, bro, this is what I want. What do you like? What I want more engagement also. But like, you know, hear me complain about on the timeline about things because I'm like too busy. I have to think of things that people actually want to, you know, look at. You know. Yeah.
Oh my God, Suraj knows about Victor Blaine. Do you know who Victor Blaine is, Adrian?
Actually, explain to the crowd who Victor Blaine is.
Do you know?
Partially, yes.
Who is he?
I said partially. I know the name, I recognize it, but I forgot what it was about. But do explain.
It'd be better if I let the video explain it.
I'm rating you. You are a terrible therapist. I'm rating you 0 stars.
Want to hear something?
This is Dr. Victor Blaine, a licensed therapist with a 0-star rating, which he claims is because he refuses to lie to his client.
Everyone's always saying people that really matter, you're not going to see them as much. What's the difference between the list and just your following tab? Because when you go to your feed, there's the For You and the Following option. What's the difference between the list and the Following option?
So if you follow like 500, 600 people, whatever, a lot of times you'll follow somebody because you like them a little bit or you know them in real life. You don't necessarily want to see all your tweets. A list is, you know, you're putting together these are the accounts I want to see, and it's chronological and it's more curated. Like if you're following that, you know, everybody you follow, you don't necessarily want to see all of their tweets. So a list is a better version of that.
Okay. I've never built a list. I've seen that. I see myself getting added to lists, but I've never utilized that.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. I'll pin mine to the space here.
Well, that's one way to address it at a personal level, but that doesn't really address it kind of at the larger level.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, but you know, for user intent, I think that could help kind of view on the user end. All right, I want to bring in 1 second here. I want to bring in Robert Seffer, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but we're going to have you in a second. But Laura, did you have something you wanted to add? It looked like you wanted to add something here.
I was going to say that something that makes this even more nefarious is the fact that X seems to have no customer service, or they sent out an internal memo directing people to just ignore people like us. Because I've had some conversations with some ex-employees who are aware of what's happening, like the American ex-employees, right? I'm not talking about the H-1B ones, but some prominent American ex-employees who we all know from being in spaces with them. I've emailed some of them, and I've also DM'd some of them, and they're like, oh, well, let me see. And then it just goes radio silent. And then you say, hey, just following up, did you ever hear back about my account? And so it's almost like they're either scared to reply because of retaliation from their boss, or maybe they have been instructed not to tell us what's going on. Because I don't understand how you can have 1.4 million followers and message X and also, you know, have this be the subject of multiple mainstream media reports, all the way to the point where, you know, they're doing an entire segment about it on CNN, and then nobody from X replies. Like, generally you'd have somebody in PR or support reach out and say, oh, hi, hi, work for X.
Just put a
Tell me
tweet
what's going on
out
with
there.
your account.
Hello,
They could
I'd
at
like to
least
address the
pretend like
toxicity
they
of
care,
crimes
or
fandom.
pretend
For a
like
few
they're
years
not
now,
bad
some
at getting
persistent
us, but
trolls on Reddit
there's
have been pushing this
there's
white
no
supremacy
response.
/ Nazi
And so
thing.
how can we
Reddit
not
refuses
assume
to
that we're
respond to
being
this
shadowy
protest.
when we're
But
being
look,
respectful
honestly,
when we're reaching out?
we shouldn't even have to rely on that. Everything should be open source, and which Elon Musk agrees with. He said so much today, but everything should be open source, and it should be a level playing field. It should be a level playing field. Nobody should be getting special attention to be boosted. Nobody should be getting special attention to be deboosted. It should truly be a level playing field, but obviously we don't have that, and X doesn't deny that that's the case. They say freedom of speech is not freedom of reach, and they talk about boosting positive content versus negative content. So obviously it's not a level playing field. Anybody that says it is, well, then you're not even listening to the people that run X. So you're just coping with the reality that, X is not an equal playing field. They don't even deny it. All right, quickly, Maria, you wanted to add something, and then I want to go to Robert.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because I've just arrived at my destination. I hate to be that person that joins and leaves, but I just wanted to say this. There is an example of, because we all say, and it would be very naive to think that Elon is watching every single tweet, right? Like, that's just impossible. But there was an example during the H-1B debate of a gentleman named Kenneth Hennessy. I was following him prior to that. And he ratioed Elon, and the immediate response just a few short hours later was that his blue check mark was removed, and of course his account's been impacted since. I think he's got his blue check mark back, but it seems to be a permanent stain on your account, if you will, if it's been taken away. And so my point is that arbitrary punishment is happening. Obviously, we also saw that recently with the gaming community. There was a gamer that was, challenging Musk. His blue check mark got taken away. So it is actually a target. We have examples of targeted attacks on people who criticize Elon Musk, and we should be aware of that. We should be aware that is occurring. A CBS employee was just fired for criticizing Musk on her social media. So, I mean, now we're at the point.
Did you call him a Nazi?
She did, but it was her personal social media. How many times have libs, criticized Trump on their personal social medias? They don't get fired. So I do have concerns, Owen, with what we're seeing. There is a collective punishment that's happening around Musk's critics, and people should be aware of it. We should keep talking about it and not be afraid. Like you said, you risk being even more censored if you speak up, but we have to.
That's the key. You just said it right there, and I'm glad you could join us tonight. Don't worry about having to bail out. Everybody's busy. It's good we can hop on these spaces and hop out, but that's the key right there, is fear.
Yeah.
If people are afraid of saying or doing whatever the wrong thing on X is, then, I think that tells you a lot. And we're not talking about people that just post trash content, inappropriate content. In fact, if you do, this is my biggest bugaboo of the whole thing. Bugaboo! If you actually do adult content, we all know what I'm talking about. If you actually do adult content, even hardcore